Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes Indosat Ooredoo Hutchison installing 4G in Indonesia's new capital. China stock traders get little solace in pivotal week for market. Hong Kong's lychee coke prisoners are entitled to respect. Lockbit gang hacks into another U.S. financial firm, threatens to dump data. Hong Kong to relax mortgage arrangements for second-hand subsidized homes. Indosat Ooredoo Hutchison installing 4G in Indonesia's new capital. Nikkei Asia. Indosat Ooredoo Hutchison, one of Indonesia's largest telecommunications companies, is developing a 4G network in the new capital city of Nusantara, which is under construction on the island of Borneo. The $10 million investment will add 30 to 40 new transmission sites to the network, on top of an already installed 34 4G sites. The company is also considering building facilities in the new capital to promote the development of artificial intelligence. China stock traders get little solace in pivotal week for market. Bloomberg. Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent geopolitical wins have failed to boost investor sentiment in the Chinese equities market. Despite positive developments such as the restoration of high-level military communications between the US and China, traders are looking for more progress on issues such as U.S. restrictions on chip exports and tariffs. The benchmark CSI 300 index had its worst week in a month, and foreign funds sold Chinese stocks. The ongoing U.S.-China competition in high-end technology and the downturn in the property market are still major concerns for investors. Hong Kong's lychee coke prisoners are entitled to respect. SCMP opinion. The overcrowded and dilapidated lychee coke reception center in Hong Kong, which houses prisoners on remand, urgently needs to be redeveloped. The project is expected to cost 5.5 billion Hong Kong dollars, $705.3 million, and take 8 years to complete. Some lawmakers have criticized the plans, suggesting that public funds would be wasted on providing luxury facilities for prisoners. However, Secretary for Security Chris Tang Ping Kung defended the project, stating that it is necessary to ensure the center is fit for purpose. The redevelopment will modernize the facilities and include features such as a clinic, dental surgery, religious services room, and sports facilities. Tang emphasized that prisoners are entitled to respect and a secure, safe, and humane environment. The introduction of smart prison elements will also help with effective management of the center. The project should proceed as quickly as possible to address the overcrowding issue and ensure the well-being of prisoners. Hong Kong to relax mortgage arrangements for second-hand subsidized homes. South China Morning Post. The Hong Kong government has extended the mortgage default guarantee period for second-hand subsidized homes from 30 to 50 years. The move is intended to increase the number of flats available and support low to middle income homebuyers. The new rule will take effect from March next year and will cover 98% of the city's 280,000 subsidized flats. Under the new rule, homebuyers can get a mortgage equal to 90 or 95% of the value of the property for the first 40 years. Jack Ma positive on Alibaba, will continue to hold shares. South China Morning Post. Reuters. Alibaba co-founder Jack Ma will continue to hold shares in the company and is very positive about its future, according to a statement from his office. The announcement comes after a regulatory filing revealed that Ma's family trust would sell 10 million American depository shares of Alibaba for around $871 million. The sale is part of a preset plan, but no shares have been sold so far. Ma stepped down as Alibaba chairman in 2019 but remains a major shareholder through his family trust. Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge Half Marathon organizers target annual event. South China Morning Post. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge Half Marathon is set to take place on Sunday, with local athletics officials hoping it will become an annual event. The inaugural race will see 8,000 runners traverse the 55-kilometer bridge, with the aim of eventually extending the route beyond the Hong Kong section. Discussions have reportedly been held with authorities in Guangdong and Macau about the possibility of the race crossing borders, but the government would need to approve such a move. The race is scheduled to begin at 7:30 a.m. local time. In a world beset with pain, these kids show us how it can be done. The Sydney Morning Herald. A heartwarming story from a local basketball game in Australia demonstrates the power of inclusivity and kindness. The visiting team, led by 12-year-old Charlie Wilson, discovered that their opponents had only 4 players, one of whom had mobility issues and had never scored a basket. Rather than taking advantage of the situation, Charlie and his teammates decided to pass the ball to the player with mobility issues to give him a chance to score. After several attempts, the ball finally went in, and everyone erupted with joy. The rest of the game became less competitive, with both teams taking fun shots and enjoying themselves. In another heartwarming sporting moment, Gareth Morgan, the captain of a third-grade cricket team, found himself in a tight spot during a match. Instead of trying to win the game, Morgan decided to bowl the final over himself, knowing that the opposing team needed just 5 runs to win. To his surprise, he took 6 wickets in 6 balls, including a hat-trick, and won the game for his team. His incredible feat received international attention, and the coordinator of Cricket Gold Coast suggested calling it the Morgan to honor the spirit of the game and the everyday athletes who participate. The Australian National Dictionary Centre announced that their word of the year is Matilda. The word, which originally referred to a swag carried by itinerant men looking for work, has come to represent strength, particularly in the context of the Australian women's soccer team, the Matildas. The author suggests holding a competition to come up with a better name for the Australian men's soccer team, the Socceroos, in order to honour their achievements and inspire young players. The Rev. Paul Abram, parachuting Army Padre who was later chaplain to the Tower of London, obituary. Telegraph. Reverend Paul Abram, a former Army chaplain, has died at the age of 87. Abram had a lifelong connection with the Parachute Regiment and Airborne Forces, and the Territorial Army SAS. He served as a vicar in Salcombe and was the priest in charge at the Tower of London. Abram was born in 1936 in York and had a father who was a curate and an army chaplain during World War II. He attended Farnborough Grammar and Hymers College in Hull, before studying geography at Keble College, Oxford. He then joined the Officer Training Corps and volunteered for the 21 Special Air Service Regiment. Abram was ordained in 1962 and became a chaplain to the Army Catering Corps Boys Unit and the Cambridge Military Hospital. He had 2 tours in 3 para and served in various locations, including Malta, Northern Ireland, and the Falkland Islands. Abram retired from the Army in 1989 and was later appointed chaplain to Queen Elizabeth II and priest in charge of St. Peter ad Vincula at the Tower of London. He was made a member of the Royal Victorian Order in 2007. Abram is survived by his wife of 62 years and 4 daughters. Head coach Anderson unhappy with Hong Kong TV snub for Iran match. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong football coach Jorn Anderson has lamented the lack of support for the sport in Hong Kong. He criticized television companies for not showing Hong Kong's World Cup qualifier against Turkmenistan, and said the city needed to be more professional in its support for football. Despite the lack of coverage, the national team is poised to reach its first AFC Asian Cup finals since 1968. UK-China differences set to remain despite return of David Cameron. SCMP opinion. Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron's appointment as Foreign Secretary has been well received in China due to his previous efforts to strengthen Sino-British relations. However, the move is seen as a domestic political strategy by current Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to shift the government towards the political middle ground ahead of an expected general election. It is unlikely that British foreign policy towards China will change significantly, as Sunak has sought to engage with Beijing while also standing up for British interests. Cameron's appointment may bring valuable experience and contacts to the role, but the sharp differences between the UK and China will persist. Hong Kong's Roman Catholic cardinal says he dreams of bishops from Greater China praying together. Associated Press. Hong Kong's newly appointed Roman Catholic Cardinal, Joseph Lee, said during a recent visit to the city by the head of the Chinese Catholic Church that he dreams of bishops and followers from different parts of Greater China praying together. China and the Vatican severed diplomatic ties in 1951 following the Communist Party's rise to power. Since then, Catholics in China have been divided into those who belong to an official, state-sanctioned church and those in an underground church loyal to the Pope. Jack Ma's office says he is very positive about Alibaba despite sell-off. South China Morning Post. Jack Ma's office has said that the Alibaba founder remains positive about the company after a sell-off of shares weighed on Hong Kong's stock index. Ma's JSP Investment and JC Properties have said that they plan to sell $870 million of Alibaba shares in installments starting on November 21. However, Ma's office has stated that the phased sale is part of a long-term plan and will not lead to a reduction in his holding of shares. The office added that Ma has full confidence in Alibaba and believes the current stock price is far below its fair value. Alibaba banks on new growth pillars after cloud spin-off stumbles. South China Morning Post. Alibaba CEO Eddie Wu has outlined 4 strategic-level innovation businesses that he believes will drive the company's growth in the coming decade. They are Alibaba's online wholesale marketplace 1688, second-hand goods trading platform Shanyu, office collaboration and app development tool DingTalk, and search and cloud storage product Quark. Wu also highlighted 3 key priorities: technology-driven internet platform businesses, AI-driven technology businesses, and global commerce networks. The announcement came after Alibaba's decision to shelve the spin-off of its cloud unit. Quebec stock market regulator can go after Canada's Panama Papers kingpin, Supreme Court rules. CBC. The Supreme Court of Canada has ruled that Quebec stock market regulator, the Autorite des Marchés Financiers, AMF, has jurisdiction to pursue allegations against Fred Sharp, a self-styled private banker from West Vancouver. The AMF alleges that Sharp and 3 others funneled money into a company called Solo International so that its Quebec subsidiary could buy mining claims. They then engaged in a pump-and-dump scheme to inflate the value of the company's shares. Solo was incorporated in Nevada and traded on the U.S. over-the-counter stock market. Sharp, who built a large network of offshore companies, is also being investigated by the Canada Revenue Agency and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The Supreme Court of Canada's decision means that provincial stock market regulators in Canada can pursue alleged breaches committed outside their province's borders if there is some connection to the province. Well, my dear viewers, what a whirlwind of news we have today. From telecommunications developments in Indonesia's new capital to Hong Kong prisoners' rights, and even heartwarming stories of inclusivity and sporting triumphs, there's something for everyone. But let's dive into the analysis and share our thoughts, shall we? First off, we have Indosat Ooredoo Hutchison expanding its 4G network in Indonesia's new capital city. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't help but wonder if they'll have better cell service than we do here in the 6 degrees world. But on a serious note, this investment shows the growing importance of connectivity and technology in developing cities. Moving on to China, where stock traders seem to be having a less than stellar week. Despite positive geopolitical developments, such as improved military communications between the US and China, traders are still concerned about issues like chip exports and tariffs. It seems that the US-China competition in high-end technology and the property market downturn are weighing heavily on investor sentiment. Now, let's take a look at Hong Kong, where the redevelopment of the Lai Chi Kok Reception Center is causing some controversy. Some lawmakers are criticizing the project, suggesting that public funds are being wasted on providing luxury facilities for prisoners. However, Secretary for Security Chris Tang Ping Kung defended the project, emphasizing that prisoners are entitled to respect and a secure, safe, and humane environment. It's a delicate balance, but the well-being of prisoners should be a priority. Shifting gears, we have news of another hack, this time by the notorious Lockbit ransomware gang. They've targeted a US financial firm and are threatening to release stolen data if their ransom demands are not met. It seems like these hackers are becoming quite the headache for many organizations. It's a reminder of the importance of strong cybersecurity measures and the need for constant vigilance in the digital age. In Hong Kong, the government is making changes to mortgage arrangements for second-hand subsidized homes. The aim is to increase the number of available flats and support low to middle income homebuyers. It's a step in the right direction for housing affordability, but will it be enough to make a significant impact? Only time will tell. And speaking of Hong Kong, we have some news about Alibaba's co-founder Jack Ma. Despite recent sell-offs of Alibaba shares, Ma's office has stated that he remains positive about the company's future. It's good to hear that he still has confidence, but I can't help but wonder if he's secretly wishing he had sold some shares earlier. Hindsight is a funny thing, isn't it? Now, let's end on a lighter note with some heartwarming stories. In Australia, we have a touching tale of inclusivity in a basketball game, where one team decided to give a player with mobility issues a chance to score. It's a beautiful reminder of the power of kindness and the joy that can come from simple acts of inclusion. And in cricket, we have a captain who put the spirit of the game above winning. Instead of trying to secure victory, he bowled the final over himself, knowing that the opposing team needed just 5 runs to win. To everyone's surprise, he took 6 wickets in 6 balls and won the game for his team. It's moments like these that remind us why we love sports and the incredible feats that can be achieved. Now, my dear viewers, I've shared my thoughts on these news stories, but I'm eager to hear what you think. Do you have any opinions or questions about what we've discussed today? The floor is yours, so don't be shy. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.